Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Yes, we're back baby, and back for good. And moving onwards, as you guessed from the title, the name of today's story is What If Naruto Was Born with Darkseid's Powers? And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story. Now before continuing this, shout out to where it is due. Shout out to Kaizen.70 for suggesting this idea. And yeah, in this story, Naruto will be original self but will be born with Darkseid power. Let's see how Naruto and the elemental nations will handle this change. And moving onwards, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel and to my other channel as well, which is Meta What If, Mayta What Ifs. I will put a link in the description. You can, go to that channel and subscribe as well. I have also uploaded what ifs there, and yeah, but the only difference is that there I upload with a face cam and gameplay overlay over top of that. Here it's the OG, same thing that I used to do in the past. And I'm really grateful for you guys to continuing to subscribe still and being patient with me. Even though I was absent from this channel for a long time, I'm really grateful that everything was sorted out in the end. And I'm just grateful for such a loyal and good audience, man. I don't know what to say to you guys. I'm just glad. Anyways, enough of this mushy stuff. Moving onwards, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins on October 10th in nighttime in Konoha Gakure no Sato. It was a peaceful night like any other. The villagers were resting. The shinobis were working in the shadows. All the while this was going on in the village walls, we go towards the outer side, far away in a secluded area, more like a cave in which a room was made, in which we see a red-headed woman was in agony. Pacing back and forth near her were nurses. While on the other side of the room, we heard another footsteps that were pacing back and forth. And that footsteps belongs to Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of the said village and the husband of the woman inside, who was Kushina Uzumaki, and this man was Minato Namikaze. Tonight was quite an important and crucial night for both of them. Their child was about to be brought into this world, and there was a high chance that the biju that was sealed within her, Kushina, might try to escape because of the seal being weakened at the birth of the female Jinchuriki's child. As Minato was formulating plan upon plans to try his best to stop the biju if it ever breaks free. But all that came to a pause when he heard the cries of a child. As his eyes were widened, his heart almost stopped when the door opened as an old woman came out. "Bivaku-sama," said Minato. "Calm down, Minato, everything is fine. Your wife and child are okay. It's a healthy baby boy. Come inside. She's tired, but she's still hanging in there. Kushina is one tough cookie, if you ask me." "Yeah, she is." "What did you say? Huh?" said Kushina in a tired smile on her face, as Minato, stumbled on his words, but then looked at his child. "He's beautiful, Kushina." "Yeah, I know." As this was going on, as they were having a moment, a clapping sound was heard from the shadows as Minato immediately got into a defensive stance as Kushina wrapped her arms tightly around Naruto. Well, isn't this a beautiful moment?" he said as a masked person came into view. "Who are you?" said Minato. "Ah, where are my manners? My name is Madara Uchiha." As Biwako gasped alongside everyone else. What do you want?" "I want the Kyuubi. Hand over the Jinchuriki and no one dies." "I won't allow that." And in a mere instant, Minato was shocked. A man was faster than him. As Kushina gasped in horror to witness that in the arms of the man was their own child, and pointing at his neck with the other hand of the man was a kunai. Don't you dare, Minato. Right where you are, alongside everyone here. I have already taken out your envoys. You do not need to call them for backup. It's pointless." As Minato gritted his teeth. "What do you want?" "As I mentioned, the Kyuubi. You didn't want to hand over the Jinchuriki. Left me no choice but this. If you don't, then you already know what I'm gonna do with this poor boy who's just brought into this world. You don't want me to hurt your son. No, please don't." "Yeah, I'll cooperate." At least someone has a mind in this family affairs, Minato. As now we see, before any of this could continue, something with a twist of fates happened. Naruto's eyes opened as his gaze fell upon his mother, who was distressed, and his father, as his eyes suddenly began to turn red. Not like the QB red with slits in them, bright red. As his gaze fell upon the man that was holding him, as the man looked down at him alongside everyone else, as two beams were fired straight through the eyes, as two boring holes were created in the man's face, as Naruto was immediately let go by the man who slumped down to the ground, as Minato dashed and grabbed onto Naruto. As after seeing that the man had two holes in his face, Minato was shocked as he looked towards Naruto, who was looking at him with normal eyes and was even giggling at him. Minato, is everything fine? Said Bivako. Everything is alright. Anbus! Minato called for the third time as the Anbus arrived. Hokage-sama, we apologize. There seemed to be an intruder. As they all paused, seeing that the man that was intruder was on the ground, dead. As Kakashi then said, can I see who the man is? As Minato nodded, as the mask was revealed, as it shocked everyone. Obito? But how? He was supposed to be dead? You're right, Kakashi. He was. How did this happen? Sensei, what are we gonna do? Do not let this matter surface any further. Bury him somewhere safe, said Minato, out of the kindness of his heart. He did not know how did his student survive or how wayward he has become after that. But he knew Obito must have been going through something, because Obito, he knew, wouldn't have done something like this. Never. But more than that, the question in the picture was right now, who in the hell did Naruto do that? As Kushina then said, he must have had a Kakegenkai of a sort or something. As this was going on, Kushina felt extreme pain because of the trauma and stress that she had endured, and due to the purse, the seal was broken, and the QB was in the end still released, even without any interference. As the QB was released, it was heading straight towards the village to cause destruction. But before it could do any of that, Naruto cried because of the stress. And as its cry was heard, even Minato and everyone around him was deafened. Even the Biju was now covering his ears, giving his parents enough time to gather their strength and seal away the Biju. But since Kushina wasn't able to become the Jinchuriki again, they had no other choice but to seal the Biju within their young boy, Naruto Uzumaki. And Naruto, henceforth, was made the Jinchuriki, the first male Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, and the third one as that. As after all of this went down, we see that back in Konoha, Hiruzen, as well as many other shinobis and shinobi clan heads were waiting at the front gates, as the Anbus, nurses alongside with Kushina and Minato walked with the child. As Hiruzen said, Minato, what the hell happened? We all saw the QB. Did the seal broke? Yes, it did. We had no other choice but to seal the Biju within our son. We also heard a loud screech of a sort, or a cry of a child. I know it is impossible to say or hear such a thing from such afar, but you heard it correctly. It was Naruto who let it out a cry, and even Kyuubi was covering its ears. What do you mean by that? It seems as if Naruto was born with the Kakegenkai of a sort that we are not aware of. All the while as this was going on, the village celebrated, but amongst these celebrations were those who were looking at Minato and his new family with hatred, as these people retreated back to the shadows, to their true masters. As now we see, a few months have passed after this, as back in Iwagakure, the village that was almost destroyed by Minato, but was able to save its hide because of the ceasefire at the time, was now aware of this fact, and they wanted to get back at Minato for all the pain and distress he has caused to the people. They wanted revenge, and what better to take it out on Minato through someone that was close to him. And so an Anbu squadron was sent to kidnap Naruto. They will do a public execution in Eva. And Naruto was successfully kidnapped one night while they were all resting. The next morning, Minato and Kushina both were now downright terrified. And immediately Minato called for Anbus. I want you to find my son. Even if you have to search the whole elemental nation upside down, find my baby boy and bring him back, said Minato, as he formed a party with the Inizuka clan and went out on his own to search, while Kushina was out with the Anbu searching on her own as well. And in the end, Inizukas were the one who were able to locate Naruto in the border of Iwagakure, where the gates of Iwa were destroyed, as if some sort of typhoon arrived there. And not only that, many shinobis alongside with civilians were killed, split it in half, as if something precise and hot cut through them and their body like a knife cutting through a butter. As Naruto was laying there in the center, crying, as Minato went and picked him up. It's alright, Naruto. Father's here. Your daddy won't allow anyone to hurt you. As Minato saw all the destruction that has sufficed, as that is when Minato's gaze fell upon Oniki. Hokage, what the hell have you done to my village? You have crossed the line, Minato. Iwa is going to go to war for you, and Konoha for this. I did this? From the looks of it, your people kidnapped my child. Oh, you think we did, huh? How about a council meeting? Kage Summit. I will meet you in the Iron Country and announce it officially to the elemental nations that Iwa is going to war with Konoha. So be it. I'll be waiting for you on the other side, and this time I'll finish you and the Iwa off once and for all, said Minato. Is that a threat, Minato? I promise. And I will be much more faster than before. As this caused some chills run down Oniki's spine, because the man that was looking back at him looked at him as if he had nothing to lose. A ferocious beast that he has poked and awoken. But he didn't care. He was called Oniki the Fence-Sitter, the oldest reigning Tsuchikage for naught. As after that we see a month passed, as Iwa and Konoha had some skirmishes that was going on, as the people in the elemental nation began to grow aware of the situation that was going on. And so, now we see the Kage Summit was held, and Oniki was persistent on going to war, and Minato was accepting it. But that is when the Iron Country leader intervened. Both of your villages have suffered enough. I've heard that recently the QB attack happened. The QB got loose in Konoha, and on the other side I have pretty much sure that Iwagakure hasn't recovered from the third grade Shinobi Wars events. So how about this? You put this on aside. We will never put this aside. This needs to be taken care of right now. And this doesn't concern you, child, said Oniki, with all due respect. Samurai-sama, I have to do this on my own. This man has the audacity to steal my child and blame all the mess that his people created on me in my village. We will not sit still for this. Even my council is burning with rage for what they have done, and their audacity. Then how about this? Give each other a few years worth of time, and if nothing is sorted out, then there is no choice but for you two to go to war. Is there anyone who would like to side with their allies? We don't have enough resources or time to waste on this petty war amongst the two of you, said A, the new Raikage. As that is when Maid Terumi, who was just recently came out of the, civil war in her own village, then said, I don't think that Mizukakure is in a situation in which we are ready to go to a war and taking sides. We will remain neutral in this as well. Asuna then said, even if we are loyal to Konoha and have an alliance, I think it would be best and suffice if we do not participate, since we too are facing a famine of our own. As Minato nodded at that, do we have terms, Oniki? We have terms, said Oniki to Minato. And after that the treaty was signed for at least 5 years of ceasefire. As now we see, time began to pass by as Naruto began to grow up in Konoha. And as soon as he reached at the age of 5, something interesting happened. One morning Naruto woke up, and he found himself headbutting something, as he was shocked. Ow, what the hell? As Naruto's eyes widened, Kachan! Touchan! He yelled out, as if he was in distress, as both of the parents, hearing this, rushed outside of their room towards the ceiling where the room of the kid was situated, only to find Naruto was literally touching wall and floating. How in the hell is this possible? Said Minato. Naruto? Are you okay, my boy? Yeah, but how did I get here? I don't know, son. Did you prank me, Kachan? No, why would I do that, Naruto? Said Kushina, as she was quite confused. Even if she was called the queen of pranksters, she didn't prank her own child for naught. As after that, Naruto was brought down by Kushina, and finally For some time later, Naruto was able to stable himself. As now we see, another incident occur after a few weeks later as Naruto was playing in the park with a few friends. As nearby, some lumbers were cutting down the trees. As accidentally the kid ran there to grab a bowl as the tree was about to fall down. As the tree was falling, the kid got in the way and froze. As Naruto then dashed into the way and literally tried his best to push the tree upwards like a hero would. But in his surprise, the tree was flung into the air miles away like it was nothing more than a toothpick thrown with the flick of a finger. As Naruto was watched by everyone with a jaw dropped to the floor, as if he had done something that was abnormal. As Naruto then said, "What? No, Naruto, you threw away a tree like it was a toothpick." I don't know what you're talking about. I used chakra, said Naruto, trying to, well, as much as he could, dissolve the situation that he was in. As after that we see, Naruto dashed away back at home. And on the other side, some of the civilians began to grow rumors that Naruto had infinite strength, being able to flung a tree that was so huge that it took an hour or so to be cut down, like a toothpick away from the danger from the kid, was something in its own right. As Minato himself was quite shocked after finding this out, as he and Kushina back at home decided something with Naruto. How about we do some tests, Naruto, and see what are your powers? Powers? I mean, you can float in the air, right? Yeah. You also have immense strength. And I'm sorry, Naruto, but as Minato threw a kunai at full speed with the intent to kill, but the kunai bounced right off of Naruto's forehead. Ow, that hurts, said Naruto. You wanna kill me or something, old man? As Kushina literally punched Minato in the head. Are you insane? Throwing a kunai at your son? Ow, Kushina, look at Naruto. He's not even bleeding. There's not even a dent or a scratch on his tough skin. As Kushina was shocked, and so was Naruto. Wait, how is this possible? Said Kushina, taking out a kunai of her own and trying to poke Naruto with it again and again. Ow, that hurts, Kachan. Stop doing that. So sorry. I was just making sure. Yeah, you were, I guess. As Kushina then noticed that the tip of the kunai was actually bent to the left side. Minato, look, it is a chakra metal kunai, and it's bent. This is impossible. Maybe it's just a wrong kunai, I guess. What do you mean by that, son? Like, a defected one. No, Naruto. These kunais are crafted and used multiple times by me, and this worked completely fine. As Naruto was shocked, and so were his family. We need to discover what your abilities are. As Naruto then said, I guess we should, but how? Not here. We don't want our home to be destroyed. And certainly not in the village, because many people could get hurt. So then where do you think we should test it out? You're gonna hate me for this, Kushina, but I think there's only one place, and only one man who can take us there. No. No, not in a million years. Not with him. Never. As now we have a cutscene where we see Jiraiya sitting inside their home, as Minato explained him to everything, as Kushina was folding her arms and sitting on the sofa, glaring at Jiraiya and Minato. Everything is fine and dandy, Minato, but why is your wife glaring at me like she wanna kill me or something? That is because you're an ultimate pervert. The disgusting of the disgusting perverts to ever exist, Jiraiya. Hey, even if I am that, I'm proud of it, said Jiraiya with a smile on his face. Ugh, said Kushina as she scoffed at Jiraiya. Kushina, please, you have to understand, this is for Naruto's sake. We can't test his abilities here. He has powers that are beyond us, we have never seen before. We have to make sure that the powers that he has are well taught to him, so that he doesn't hurt anyone or hurt himself in the end. You're right, Minato. I'm sorry. I'm just worried about Naruto turning into a pervert. That's the least thing you're worried about? Come on, Kushina, I'm not that bad. You tried to make Minato be the editor of your porn magazine. Hey, it's a high-class smut and story-filled book that everyone's enjoy. Even your husband does. No, to be honest, I don't. Jeez, you hurt my soul, Minato, with that one. Enough about this. Can we get back to the topic now? Alright, yes. About this, I have planned this for a while now. I think we need to go away for more than just some time. How about 10 years? Sensei, Naruto is just 5 years old. Going away for 10 years, it it can be quite dangerous, and not to mention that Eva is starting to spark up some wars with us. Eva hasn't have the guts to do that. And from what I have heard, Eva has just have another loss which has set them back quite a long time now. One of its shinobis have went rogue. What was his name? Deidara, I guess. He was going to prepare to make it into the next Uchiha, but he betrayed the old man and the village, bombing a lot of places and setting Eva back at least 10 years or so. Their shinobi arsenal has been damaged greatly. Damn it. I didn't know Oniki was going through such a rough time. I guess so. So, what do you say, Minato? How about we go on a training trip? I guess so. So, for the next 10 years, they went away while Hiruzen was made in charge again. While Hiruzen stayed in charge, the first 5 years was spent on the Toad Mountain, where they began to learn that Naruto not only could fly, had indestructible skin, and couldn't be penetrated, but also was capable of doing a lot of things. He had laser eyes, which could cut through anything and anyone, and any metal object, as well as voice that was so loud that it could create ripples in the air, and one could burst his eardrums if he wasn't being careful. And not only that, the boy could punch. His punch could send one flying miles away, much worse than Tsunade as well, making him the ultimate warrior once he learned the taijutsus. At the age of 10, he was fighting with the Toad Chief and going head to head with bare hands. Because of his indestructible skin, this was allowed, and his immense strength. He even literally backhanded the huge Chief Toad onto the ground on his back, earning a ground from the huge Toad. All the while, many were left impressed, especially Kamakichi, who has formed a summon contract directly with Naruto. As Naruto not only had done that, but with the help of Pa and Ma, who has also gotten close to the boy, he has learned the ultimate technique, the Sage Mode, and has gotten close to the nature to the point where he was completely one with it. And that wasn't all. QB, seeing that the boy was quite interesting, took the initiative of trying to form or understand the boy. And Naruto was able to establish not only a bond of a friendship, but also free the QB within his own mindscape, with the condition that he won't attack any other humans. Of course, at first the QB didn't like that, but he liked the idea that the boy trusted him enough to free him from the seal that was holding him tightly away. He was quite different from his previous Jinchurikis, and that was a nice fresh breath of air. And right now we see, for the next 5 years after that, the parents alongside the sage and the sensei went on to travel in the elemental nations. They went to Mizugakure as well as Kumogakure and Suna, alongside with the minor villages like Rice Country, as well as Vegetable Country, Snow Country, and even Takigakure, where Naruto met with someone who he hit it off with completely immediately, as the head of the Takigakure had an idea, since he was the only one taking care of the girl who was hated by the whole village and wanted her dead. He knew what he had to do. I back off you, Minato-sama. Both of them like each other, and that is why I propose this. Take her away from this, but your village will be losing a Jinchuriki. We are no longer a shinobi village. We have lost the integrity as well as respect to call ourselves that. And what we have done to that poor soul who is holding back that Biju to save us, I don't think that we deserve her. Please, I'm begging you, to save Fu from all the misery that she has been through. I don't think I won't be able to protect her any longer. Alright then. As after that, Fu was allowed to travel with Naruto as they continued on with their travels. All the while, Akatsuki was enraged that they have lost Obito. More than ever was Zetsu. He lost his biggest pawn and his way to revive Madara. But he still had Akatsuki. All he had to do was now make sure that everyone was taken care of. So, 10 years after the death of, Obito, Akatsuki tried to sneak up on, the Uzumaki Namikaze family, who were traveling and resting in tents. All the while Naruto was resting near the firework Still, he wanted to because he wanted to sleep in fresh air. We see that Zetsu approached him with a kunai. You're going to die first, boy. As Naruto sneezed so hard that literally, Zetsu evaporated into tiny molecules and died. But thankfully enough, he had made enough clones to switch his consciousness. What the hell was that? I disintegrated and it felt extremely painful. And the boy just sneezed. What kind of monster are we dealing with? After that, as they returned back to Konoha, they found out that Kumo had settled down alongside with everyone else, and even Onki had decided to not start a war for the time being. But Naruto was sent to the Shinobi Academy. And so Naruto's shinobi life began. As his life began, Zetsu began to monitor Naruto carefully and send on these Akatsuki members one after the other who didn't trust his words one bit that Naruto was this strong. And each time they returned in an embarrassing manner. For examples, when Kisame Hoshigaki decided to attack Naruto with his used sword, Naruto literally grabbed it with one hand and clenched his fist so hard that the sword shattered into a million bits. And then, with a single palm of his hand that he slapped in his chest, Naruto threw him so far across the trees, breaking one after the other, that he was placed on a hospital bed with all over his body being covered by bandages and plaster to recover his broken bones. As the other Akatsuki members laughed, and one by one they all returned, somehow extremely defeated in an annoyed manner. For example, Deidara's head was completely bald because of his own explosions thrown off and exploding in his own head. And let's just say, poor Sasori, all puppets were destroyed to the point where he was traumatized. And as for the others, well, let's just say their complex was completely broken. The immortals wanted to die, for once, because of the traumatic events they have went through. All the while Naruto was oblivious to it. To him, he was just trying to do his work, all the while working out with his powers, and these people who were somehow sneaking up on him or just in his way ended up accidentally getting hurt, and he had to escape to, not avoid his mother's wrath, who would have, if found out about this, would have literally given him hell. As now we see the whole Akatsuki bandaged up and covering head to toe with wounds. Now that you guys understand what I was trying to say, what do you think we should do? I'm retiring, to hell with this. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Says Sasori and Deidara as they begin to leave. We want that. And we want that, we know that, but we are not stupid enough to deal with this kind of bullshit. You're on your own. As one by one everyone began to leave, even Pain then said, to hell with this, Zetsu. I'm gonna go back to Amegakure and rule that village, as I should have. Come on, Konan. As one by one everyone left, all of the Akatsuki disbanded right in front of Zetsu's eyes, and he was left there for his own good. As that is when his mother called him, connecting through him. Mother. Son. What is it, mother? You have fucked up big time, my boy. What? What do you mean by that? The being that you are messing with is a being that has ruled a cosmos different from us for centuries and eons. That being's powers have been granted to this boy that you are dealing with, to not piss him off. For what's to come is worse than that you can ever imagine. Yes, mother, I understand. And so this is how Akatsuki disbanded. As Naruto's life continued on, Iwagakure continued to monitor their lives, as Naruto continued to do his missions such as D-rank missions, and for C-rank which turned out to be an A-rank which Naruto dealt with efficiently. He literally broke Zabuza's sword and flipped him so hard that flew all the way to Gato's hideout, slamming him into the wall and making him into a paste. As for Haku, he dashed away to get his master. So 2 birds, 1 stone, killed. As Naruto dealt with the tyranny of Gato there, and after that the bridge was completed, and soon as they returned, Chunin exams were underway. And Naruto won against Kiba this time around with a sneeze. Literal sneeze, and Kiba was thrown against a wall like an ancient wall ruin that was discovered in the Egypt. He was looking like that, a plastered image created on stone by ancient people. It took at least 8 medics to get him out of that place. And even after that, we see that time began to went by as Fu and Naruto began to grow closer and closer in the tuning exams until the finale happened when Fu got hurt. And at that moment, Naruto was so pissed, he began to fly into the air. His eyes began to glow red. He had a sneer on his face. And in an instant, using his Zeta beam, he immediately zigzagged his beam all across those who were coming their way and immediately massacred more than 1,000 shinobis. As Orochimaru was left devastated while witnessing this. If it wasn't for Kurama, Naruto would have lost it completely. He, for the first time, was looking like a pure imitation, an image of Darkseid, the being that he held power from, as he had flashes of him from the other timeline of what he did. Before he clutched his head, what the hell? Naruto, are you okay? What have I done? No, said Naruto as he returned. As after that he became extremely depressed while the people cheered and called him a hero. Suna was devastated, and so was Otogakure. Orochimaru was quite shocked and traumatized after this event. Within mere moments he had lost all those years of worth of work by the hands of a brat that had immense power and was a literal being that was beyond human in front of them. Like a Grim Reaper, coming from the darkest pits of hell to haunt them. As now we see, Naruto was brought up with stupidity by his parents, who knew that Naruto was special. The whole Elemental Nation heck knew at this point, but they feared him for good reason, and some respected him out of fear. But those who knew Naruto, well, they loved him and adored him to that because he was their boy, you know? And as for Fu, she adored her hubby, as she called Naruto. Naruto would blush so hard that he would fly all across the Elemental Nation to hide his blush and calm his nerves down. It was quite cute in Fu's opinion, and thankfully she had chakra wings which allowed herself to fly as well alongside Naruto. So, a bright and happy future was coming towards Naruto way, and a painful one for those who were going to mess with him. May their soul rest in peace in advance. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's kind of a comedic one, even though he has the powers of Darkseid, but yeah, I mean, it's a canonical Naruto with the abilities given to him at birth, with at birth of Darkseid. I mean, that was the whole perspective and scenario of the story, so I hope you don't mind and enjoy today's story. And if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to this channel and my Meta What Ifs channel as well. This is it for the day. Peace!